Hello little buddies, welcome to one more session. See, in the previous session we have seen how the male reproductive system and its parts play a key role in the production of sperm cell. In this moment, in this session, I would like to explain the movement of sperm cell or the uses of sperm cell, especially in female reproductive system, how the sperm cell behaves, how the sperm cell fuses with the female gamete. So we have to discuss questions, we have to discuss answers for all these hypotheses. Let us see the diagram of a sperm cell, how it looks like. If you see, the sperm cell has, as I said in the previous session, it has four important parts. What are those four important parts of a sperm cell? If you see a moving sperm cell, generally it looks like this, which has the head part. Here you can see the head part and neck, and it is the middle piece, and it is the tail. Okay. There are some certain kind of parts seen in the head, especially the head is a triangular structure which looks like this. The tip of the head is called as acrosome. In the previous video also I explained about acrosome. So acrosome plays an important role in fertilization. So the acrosome directly fuses with the female gamete and helps in the process of fertilization for the formation of zygote or embryo. Even the same head contains nucleus. If you see this nucleus, the nucleus stores the genetic information. So the hereditary characters from the parents, especially from the father, enters into the baby or into the fetus through this nucleus itself. Nucleus plays an important role in transformation of inheritable characters. So what are inheritable characters? The characters which are coming from the parents, generally considered as the inheritable characters. So the sperm cell and ova both are playing a key role in moving the inheritable characters from there to the baby or to the fetus. So let us see one more figure for understanding how this sperm cell, the external morphology of a sperm cell, especially from the head, neck, and the middle piece and the tail. So you can see the diagrammatic view, electronic microscopic view of the sperm cell head right from here to here. And this is the neck part, this is the neck, and this is the entire part of middle piece. From here to here it is a tail. Tail helps in process of showing direction, it shows the direction. So while the sperm cell is moving in the path, direction of the sperm cell is given by the tail, even the middle piece which supports the tail. And as you know very well, neck, if you see the neck here, this is the neck part. In this neck part, especially here, in this neck part, you can see number of mitochondrions. These mitochondrions generally provide energy for moving sperm cell. So here, sperm cells gets energy while they are moving from one place to another place through this mitochondria present in the neck piece. The motility of the sperm cell directly depends upon the neck part of the sperm cell. The motility, the movement of a sperm cell directly proportional to the neck. Why? Because it contains the mitochondria. If you see the semen, what do you mean by semen? Here, sperm cells and the fluid part of the male reproductive system generally considered as semen. What do you mean by semen? Semen contains sperm cells and the fluids which are coming from the Cowper's glands and the Cowper's glands, as usually the prostate gland. So these two types of glands, they release their secretion or they produce some important materials that are required for growth of sperm cell. So the composition of a sperm cell and the fluids combinedly called as a semen. In an adult human, 60 to 70% of the sperm cells are highly active. 60 to 70 sperm cells are 70% of sperm cells are highly active. Remaining 30% may be inactive, may be dead. We can't determine. But an healthy human has 60 to 70% of highly active sperm cells which are required for fertilization. If this percentage decreases, what will happen? There will be no fertilization. If there is no fertilization, we have to go for alternative processes. Technology was introduced into the male reproductive system. There were many experiments done upon male reproductive system for reducing or for increasing the success rate of fertilization. If sperm cells and their count reduce to what will happen? Definitely, the couples may not get the children. At that time, doctor generally suggests to go for alternative process called IUI or IVF. What do you mean by IUI? What do you mean by IUI? Let us see a figure which represents the IUI. In this figure, you can see here, if you carefully see here, the red color structure is called as the ova or female ova, whereas you can see the sperm cells are introduced with the help of artificial insemination. Artificial insemination. With the help of injection, they will take the active sperm cells and they will introduce it into the female gamete in test tube or in a laboratory. So there are some certain kind of climatic conditions are required for fertilization artificially in the laboratory. So the process of fertilization artificially in the lab is considered as in vitro fertilization. What do you mean by in vitro fertilization? Let me write a word called in vitro fertilization. So in vitro fertilization, nothing but you might have heard about the test tube babies. Test tube babies. They will take the highly active sperm cells within a count of 10 to 20%, and they will collect an healthy egg ovule from the female reproductive tract, and inside the test tube or on the petri dish, you can see this petri dish. This is called as a petri dish. So they will place this egg in the petri dish and they will add the sperm cells to that. After a few minutes, we can collect the fertilized egg. So this fertilized egg directly inseminated into the female reproductive tract. So when they inseminated into the female reproductive tract, remaining developmental changes occurs inside the female reproductive tract. So after this, baby generally grows normally inside the mother womb called uterus. Finally, there will be a normal delivery seen in the females, but without natural fertilization. So this is called as a in vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization generally occurs in the laboratory. There is a special lab given or formed by the technicians for in vitro fertilizations like IUI, IVF. IUI is nothing but, suppose take IUI, intrauterine insemination. What do you mean by IUI? Intrauterine insemination or insertion. We can call it as insertion. What do you mean by IVF? In vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization. Through this in vitro fertilization, test tube babies were nowadays common everywhere in the world. If the males are not having sufficient amount of sperm cells, high active sperm cells in their body, they will collect few active sperm cells and they will undergo for artificial fertilization in the lab. That is called as in vitro fertilization. Through this in vitro fertilization, babies were produced in the test tube, hence it is called as test tube babies. So test tube babies which are given by the God, which means test tube babies are God, which means here scientists are done many works to get an test tube baby in the laboratory. So IVF and IVF, it's a gift for the couples, those who do not have babies or those who are not having babies still after marriage. So this is our today's concept called IVF or IVF or in vitro fertilization and sperm cell. In the next coming video, we are going to see remaining concepts. Until stay tuned. Have a nice day.